So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Carrasco Ranch. My name is Robert. If this is your first time tuning in. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the problems or issues with owning raw land, ranch land, or just vacant land. So stay tuned. So we're going to break it down into two different videos, all the positives in one video, all the negatives in one video. This video is going to be focused on some of the negative aspects of owning raw land, ranch land, vacant lots, things like that. Because I own both. I have, this property, I have other lots as well. And I'm just going to kind of discuss that because that's a question that I do get quite often is, what's the upkeep? What are payments on this stuff like? What are, things to watch out for? Just general questions about purchasing vacant or raw land. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So the first one is going to be pretty much where is your property going to be located at. If you are buying raw land, ranch land down by the border, chances are you may have issues running into, trafficking of humans, human trafficking, illegals coming over to the States going through your property. I have a couple friends who have properties down there, and they have seen, an increase in that. Obviously, and that's a problem. Most of them are not threatening people, from what I understand from what my friends have told me. They usually will not bother you. If anything, they'll ask you for water, but that is something that you may have to keep an eye on. You never know when you may get one who actually wants to do some damage, right? But for the most part, they're not. But that is one thing you will have to look out for if you do buy property closer to the border. For me, I'm too far north, so I don't have that issue. So trespassers, just general trespassers, I haven't really had an issue with that. I do have monitoring systems on the outside perimeter of the property. I have had one trespasser in the years that I've owned this property. That was about 3-4 years ago or so. I ended up catching that trespasser due to a little mounting system that I have. I'll leave it down below in the description. It's called Spy High Mounting System. It's like a 15-foot pole, and you put trail cameras into a tree, and it can monitor what's going on. So it's pretty cool. I think you guys would like that. And if you have issues with trespassers, most trespassers are looking at eye level. They're not looking up into trees. So that's a good thing to have if you do have that issue. So the next one is going to be, so that's kind of covering trespassing. Again, depending on where you're located, that's going to vary. The next one is going to be just general fence maintenance. If you're going to have cattle on the property, you're going to have the fence pretty well maintained, because if not, you'll be getting a call from the sheriffs that your cattle are running loose. Happens to a couple people that I know around here. Middle of the night, get a call, hey, your cows are loose. So fence maintenance is going to be important if you have ranch land. Obviously, if you have vacant lots in the city, this doesn't pertain to you. But if you have raw ranch land, you're going to have it well maintained, at least the fence, going forward, if you're going to be putting cattle or any type of livestock on there. Those of you who plan on buying land and using goats as agricultural reductions for your taxes, I have also friends who have goats. They're a lot of trouble. They jump over fences, they eat everything, and they do get loose. They find ways to get loose just by crawling over the fence, I guess. So keep that in mind. But again, there are ways to mitigate that, and you can definitely make it happen, make it possible. So just to kind of recap, fence maintenance is going to be important if you have ranch land and livestock. If you just have vacant land, you're going to use it just to basically hunt on. Say it's a low fence ranch and you have no cattle. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, maybe people may come trespass on your property without a fence more easily. Not to say they just can't jump it, but they're more inclined to if there is no fence there. But again, that's only if you have cattle, where you really have to maintain the fence line. So the next one is going to be maintaining roads. So you can't have a property without having access to it. This is going to vary, again, depending on where you are located, different soils. If you're going to be adding caliche or rock into your roads, all this is going to play a factor into how much work is going to go into maintaining your road. Obviously, if you throw a gravel pad for your road, it's going to take less maintenance overall. It's going to take an upfront cost, but less maintenance over the longevity of the road. versus if you just have a dirt road with black clay or any type of sand or something. You may need to be, grading it back and forth, once, twice, maybe even more than that during the year, depending on how often you use the road. So most people who go out and buy, kind of moving on to the next topic, most people who go out and buy raw land, typically, if it's larger chunks of raw land, they're typically buying it to go out there and hunt. So you're gonna have to maintain your feeders, maintain your deer blinds. This takes a little bit of time, a little bit of work. So just keep that in mind. So the next one is gonna be definitely a negative, but you can definitely turn it into a positive, and that's gonna be taxes. Land, the government is gonna want their money, right? They're gonna want their money on whatever you own, whatever you have. They're gonna charge you taxes for the land regardless of what you're doing. So there's different ways to kind of reduce your taxes. That's something I have learned kind of early on. Once I got the tax bill, I was like, okay, this is not going to work. We need to figure something out. So I have done other things to keep my taxes low on my properties, but which tax information is actually widely available. It's public information. So if you aren't aware, you are going to have to pay taxes on it. And if you don't start looking around on how you can use the tax system for your advantage, you are going to be paying quite a bit of money every year. So that's a cost just for owning the property. Like I said, there's multiple ways to get exempt from paying so much in taxes. They're not going to eliminate it completely. That's just not how it works. Again, if you are of age, if you're an older person, I believe 55, 65, I'm not there yet, obviously, but you do get some reduction if you apply. Typically, they're not going to go out there and be like, hey, Robert, you are now 55. Do you want to reduce your taxes? That's not how it works. You usually have to go out there and find the information yourself. So FYI for that. I could do a whole course on taxes for land. If this is something for you guys that own land, are interested in reducing your taxes, I can definitely help you out with that. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see a video on that. It's not really what the channel's about, but I'll be more than happy to help you all out and kind of put together a whole quick little mini course on taxes with raw land. So like I said, taxes are going to be part of it. That's part of the cost of owning raw land. You're either going to have to find a way to make income off of it, which is what I did. I started doing like hunting and stuff like that, selling hunts, just to help pay the property for itself. If not, it's going to continue to cost you money throughout the year. So just keep that in mind. That's going to go for vacant lots in the city. That's going to go for ranch land. That's going to go for pretty much any kind of land. You're going to have to pay taxes on it. So just FYI. So another one that kind of goes unnoticed is going to be your time. How much do you value your time, and if it's worth it for you to go out and buy land? If you're going to buy hundreds of acres, it's going to take time. Unless you have manpower, it's going to take a lot of your time. So this is something you'll have to consider when you are looking at land. Do you really enjoy being out there? Is it worth your time? For me, it definitely is. I love working with my hands, being outdoors, building things, fixing things. Maybe not so much the fixing things, depending on how bad it is, right? But I do enjoy building things and kind of keeping up with the land. I love that. It's the reason I started this channel, one of the reasons. So definitely take that into consideration before you go out and buy land. It is going to be very time consuming if you want a respectable, good looking property. Of course, you can just have land and just, let everything grow and just kind of forget about it. But if you want use out of the land, it is going to take some work. So keep that in mind. So the next one and the last one for this video of some of the cons or negatives of owning land is going to be if you're looking for land with water, particularly like a pond or a lake, it's going to take some management to get the lake up to par, or if it's already up to par, it's going to take time and money to keep it at that level or at that quality. Because if not, if you neglect it, it's going to be overrun with weeds or algae, or the fish will die. Many things can happen with it. Ponds do take a lot of time. They do take some money, depending on how you go about doing it. But that's going to be one cost that is going to be associated with owning raw land. So definitely consider that as well. All right, guys, so that's going to be a quick little video on some of the cons with owning land. There's probably many, many more. That's just some of the ones I picked out to put on this video. If y'all want more cons, I can definitely do another video with more cons on there as well. If y'all want a video on basically taxes with raw land. How does that work? How can you reduce your taxes? I can make a video on that as well. I believe YouTube will be rolling out courses, so I may even just do a full course on taxes with land, or maybe even real estate if that's what y'all are interested in. So yeah, guys, without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, be careful, be good, take care, and God bless. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.